Hello and welcome back to the Flightship. We're here on Float Islands. We got It begins again. This is where we got stuck last time, and it contains the second roadblock, Kabula. I have trained many nights against Kabula. That's the majority of where these 6 months went. I still can't get her completely consistently, but no mortal can. Taz can, so I mean, good for them. Good for the Taz bot. Really glad it found happiness. Well, I don't know, maybe they just maybe they really despise being perfect at. Why'd I do that? I mean, you do need to be aware of that octopus. He can get you, but don't suck him in. This stage is the this of the major roadblocks. This is the majorest roadblock. And to be fair, I haven't really we haven't gotten past this roadblock. Maybe something unexpected will pop up, but for the most part, I'm pretty sure this is going to be the hardest part of the run. It is, however, the first time we experience the extra lives. As well as pure struggling. The extra lives are very nice, because the cannons and Kabula, who has cannons, are pretty pretty hard. Like, most of the, that octopus is pretty much killing me because I have little practice. I have not practiced this as much as I probably should have in preparation for this run. I pressed A. It did not activate in time. The cannons are... You'll see what I mean. You probably... No, you've already seen what I mean. The cannons are hard to time. Yeah. And Kabula is there. So, it's really nice that you have the opportunity to get some extra lives. Because otherwise, this stage, hoo boy. And it's already hoo boy. But it'll be even more hoo boy. Alright, can I just... Alright, I can just do that. Good to know. Oh, didn't get those two. Let's get these coconuts. You can just go over this bit. Alright, so first room is... Well, it's not the one of the most dangerous. It's like, it's not... It's the first room is more dangerous than this room. We'll say that. That actually doesn't say too much, because this room just really isn't that dangerous. This might be the least dangerous room in there. That being said, there's like a total of 4 rooms if you would count Kabula's boss room. So, oh, I almost screwed that timing up. Smash A. Alright, first 1-up acquired. Now if I die before, if I die before leaving this room, I can collect the 1-up again. You can't do that if you die after this room though, which is annoying because that's where most of... Because the hardest room is the room after this one, as you've probably seen. Assuming you didn't just skip to this episode. Don't know why you're doing that. The one person who did that is probably feeling real cold out right now. Alright, so this is like... I'm not sure if that cannon alone gets to be called a major hurdle. That cannon alone is a minor hurdle. But... And, alright, no. I don't count anything except... They're not one of the big major hurdles. This is a pretty big minor hurdle. A major minor hurdle.
A modest hurdle.
Yeah, a modest hurdle. We got that. There is, in theory, timing for it. Like, I did time that. But it doesn't always work. Like, it's weird, because, like, it feels like I have it every time I feel like I have a consistent timing, it'll just be it'll just won't work one time. But no, it worked that time. Maybe I actually do have a consistent timing on this. Alright, first round at Kabula. We have 3 lives. I am so glad we get multiple attempts at Kabula. Because it would be really annoying. Because Kabula, this is major hurdle number. This is the second major hurdle and the majorest hurdle just because Float Islands comes before it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I've never actually gotten to see your improved gameplay at Kabula.
Oh, that's not a very good example of it.
But like I've heard him practicing. I haven't
Yeah, you haven't actually seen this. Oh, it feels so much better to mash like the Game Boy button. Again, I'm doing really bad. A little rusty. Definitely. I know I practiced, but like I took a bit of a break off practicing. Alright, down. But see, the thing about Kabula is you can't like guaranteed killer. It's all oh my gosh, I should not have lived through that. Done.
You were about to get shot. The bullet despawned.
That no, it did not, because it despawns a few seconds after. What happened is I actually narrowed it, avoided. The hitboxes are actually smaller than you think, but they're way more erratic.
Weird.
Or Kirby's hitbox is smaller than you think. That was awesome.
Wow.
But yeah, that's the improved Kabula gameplay.
On the bubbly clouds, I guess.
Can you tell I spent most of my time practicing that only? Because that... Oh, look at that animation. First time seeing bubbly clouds in color. Oh! It's green. Wait, no, we already saw the green bit. Anyhow. I gotta talk... I thought I'd have way more time to talk about the Kabula fight. Because I didn't... But yeah... I definitely find Kabula more satisfying to do with the GBA controller. Just because it's more... Because... See, the problem is, I can mash the 3DS button much faster than the game registers shots, which is super annoying. But this button, the GBA buttons, are, that's less of an issue. It's not completely gone.
Interesting how being less, like, being able to mash not as, like, not being able to mash as fast is actually a positive.
Yeah, just because it doesn't match as well with the game. Whereas, like this, it matches much better. It's not exact. I believe you still can mash. Alright, I can't remember exactly how the bennies work. Do I jump over this one? And then I just wait for this one. But these guys are gonna get me. Alright.
So, from what I assume then, this level's kind of a walk in the park. But not as...
No, it's not a walk in the park. It's just not a major hurdle.
It's easier than Float Islands, definitely.
Yeah, it's full...
Stuff you can predict.
Yeah, it's full of minor hurdles, which can definitely screw you up, but it's not like Float Islands where... Oh my gosh, we did Float Islands in like... Oh, I did Kabula in one cycle. I mean, not first try, but like third try is pretty good. But I have to stress, Kabula's not as hard for me. We will have to fight Kabula again, but it won't be as stressful next time. I have to stress... Kabula's fight is, you have no idea how long that took me. Like, the first 50 to 100 tries on the practice run with 3DS, I didn't even get her once. And then, like, the first time, it was just like a once-in-a-blue-moon thing. Like, those 6 months of practicing were so vital to getting that Kabula fight. And now it seems way easier just because I've had so much time building up muscle memory. But trust me, I made it look easy. And it felt way easier nowadays. But like when you're first going at it, it takes a while. And the thing is, because it's so random, it's less about building strategy and more about just pure muscle memory. So yeah. I made that look way easier than it actually is. Alright, things. Alright. Alright, this is Krakow Jr. This is a fight that looks really hard until you realize you can cower in the corner like a coward. So yeah, just, for Krakow Jr., just do what I do. Cower in the corner like a coward. It's in the name. And yeah, he does the exact same thing each time, but he's fast and he has he's a pretty limited blind spot. It's pretty hard to see the blind spot, and he does a fairly good job of covering stuff. But yeah, this room's pretty easy. You just go to the top, and if you just mash through this, you'll get there before any of the Gordos do. This part, honestly, I find this part harder than what we just did. Because you just gotta get under the Waddle Dee in the right timing. And see, I got pretty close to failing that. I should have just went the other way now that I realize it. So yeah, we might do... So yeah, as you can tell, I practiced this way more than I did Wispy. This is actually another hard room because it's kind of hard to predict where the stars will be. So like a lot of the times it'll be super easy, but sometimes they'll just completely get in your way and screw up the run. Plus you have these gaps you have to float over, and if they get like they're kind of it acts kind of like a blind spot. So you saw there, it threw a bunch of stars at me as I was going over the gap. So the stars could pretty much appear anywhere. Nowhere in this room is actually safe. So yeah, I believe this is the final room, which means, yeah, we just go up to the left. Kill that pelican, because otherwise he'll kill you. But otherwise you can just kind of float up here. These will be tricky. I don't have like a good strategy for I still don't have a good strategy for parasols. There is an extra life in this moon room. If it will activate right. You do have to be pretty careful of the Gordos. We also have to be fairly fast to get the 1-up. It's somewhere on the left here. Yeah, there it is. You're gonna want it. Just because you want all 1-ups. And there's the 1 Waddle Dee, which is pretty funny. Krakow is easy. He is so easy. The problem is he's too easy. Besides the fact that it's this way in the game, he really shouldn't be this easy. Not just on a gameplay standpoint. If you screw up on him, you will be kicking yourself. And he's so easy that you can very easily lapse in judgment and screw up on him. It's happened a few times, and it just feels like the worst thing in the world. Like, it's like, man, I died to Krakow. It's important to remember that although he seems very formulaic, it is a randomized attack. He can do 2 attacks in a row, so he can charge you twice in a row. And again, not hard to dodge, but very annoying if you don't. I'm feeling good.
Well then.
We're not even at the end of the episode.
That was...
We did Bubbly Clouds.
You just did Bubbly Clouds in 1 life.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah, I don't think I died at all in Bubbly Clouds. That was a 1 run. Dang. Now this is the 3rd roadblock. We gotta fight all 3 of these. We have to fight Kabula and Wispy back to back. And there's no way to get more lives in this. So once this 2 life buffer is gone, and I'm pretty sure we're not going to get it in the 2 life buffer. So once that buffer's gone, it'll pretty much, we'll have to be doing it 1 life. However, I consider this not as big of a roadblock as, I think this is the smallest major roadblock, because although it is still a major roadblock, you don't have to go through the entirety of Wispy's level or of Float Island's level. You don't have to go through the entirety of that. So here's Kabula again. So I can relax more in this run. Whereas before, yeah. The thing is, there's some shots you just can't, like, avoid. But you can, weave through, you can weave through shots, and this fight, I actually do, like, quite like this fight against Kabula. But, with the stress that comes from having the, like, weight of possible failure on your hands that comes from fighting her, it kind of ruins the fun a bit. But Kabula... Alright, so here's the thing. Kabula was not fun for the majority, for like the first few days of practicing. And by days of practicing, I didn't do these consecutively. I didn't do it every day at first, so... first few days of practicing, it was not fun. And even for like 3 weeks, I'd say it wasn't fun. It only got fun when I started being able to beat her semi-consistently. Because then, once you get to that point, it's actually fun. It's interesting, because like even the most difficult challenges I find are only fun when you see a glimmer of your possible success. So, it's interesting, because like Kabula just wasn't fun for a while. But when it came to the point where like her defeat was like a possibility, she became fun again. But yeah. I did not expect to be on Mount Dedede this early. Like, I knew I'd do better than last time, because last time was a disaster. But I didn't think I'd do this much better than last time. That wasn't a very good death. That spike bit is tricky. The hitboxes are... It looks more intimidating than it is, but it can still get you. The hitboxes are smaller than they appear. The Kabula is, again, also she's way more fun mashing this button than with... mashing B is way more fun than mashing... yeah. Again, I'm definitely mashing faster than the things going, but I don't know. It just feels... It's not as aggravating. Plus, something about mashing this button feels nicer. Especially when you're just mindlessly mashing. Again, for a lot of input stuff, it's just worse because it's not like as clicky and stuff. But something about mashing this button makes it feel good, even if it's not... even if, like, stuff isn't going as fastly as you're actually mashing. I don't know. I find the differences in feel between these controllers that I've noticed just from having to practice on... Because 3DS has save states, which makes it way better for practicing. But just like the differences of how this controller feels that I noticed just because I'm practicing on a different controller is just fascinating to me. That was garbage. I should not have died on that 3-shot. Generally, you don't want to die in the 3 shots because you're generally going to want to die. It's way easier to avoid the 3 shots than it is to avoid the zigzags. Again, it's way more again, when I was first out, I could not imagine ever going through the zigzags. Now, I can, and it's just fun to go through them. Which is something you generally do because you won't be able to run them. That is the one thing I would say. I do not feel like Kirby has fast enough movement as Mint Leaf during the Mint Leaf segment, which, by the way, in Japan is actually a sweet potato. But yeah, I just don't feel like he's fast enough here. But yeah, sometimes you can't completely outrun the zigzag, and you just gotta like go through them like that. Other thing I've learned is if you are in the top left corner, because again, you can top left and top right, you can avoid her dashes. But if you kill her when you're in the top left corner, it'll pan down and you'll go off screen and you'll die.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's happened a few times.
That's unfair.
It is, but yeah, what you gonna do? So yeah, now time for the Wispy Fight. Again, major hurdle. A second major hurdle was the fact that you just got it. Like, doing these 2 times in a row is definitely enough to be qualified as a major hurdle. But I would argue it's not as major hurdle after you go through all of Float Islands again. I'm really glad. Like, we got really lucky on our Float Islands run. That was way more dangerous than it needed to be. Bam! Holy smokes, I did not expect us to beat Wispy. No, we're not doing this now. We might be putting Bubbly Island in. We're not done yet. So this is still, I'd argue this is still a minor hurdle at this point. Especially since if you screw up at this point, you are going to want, well, let's just say, I really hope I don't screw this up now. Which is why we are going ultra careful. Also, it's not playing the boss music for some of these. Yeah, the music on Mount Deity is a bit weird.
It just plays the stage music other than Kabula because the Leaf overrides it anyway.
Yeah, it starts entering the stage for the first time, starts Deity's music, but Deity's music I don't believe plays after. I don't know. It's weird. I think you can suck and then hit back all in one thing with the bottom here. It's a good chance of missing. You're not in danger of dying from it, but you have a good chance of missing, so I don't generally do it very often. So yeah, again, you're gonna want, like, this is the point where, like, if you screw up on, like, Lala, or goodness, like, hopefully not Krakow, it's gonna be really sad, because if I die here, I'm going right back to the beginning, and I'll have to do both of those again in a row, in one life. Because you have to do all 4 of these in one life. Again, not as hard as having to do Flood Islands again in one life. But not pleasant. This is a long fight. Like, when taken slow, this fight is long. When taken fast, it's not that long, but, when doing things the way that won't get you killed, it's pretty much a lot of waiting for them to please do something I can take advantage of. Come on, something I can take advantage of? No. Something I can take advantage of? No. Something I can take advantage... Nope. Come on. It's like these two don't want me to take advantage of their weaknesses and kill them. Which is absurd. Don't know who wouldn't want that. Even that was kind of dangerous. I'm not going to do that anymore. Oh, thank goodness I got that box. That's probably going to go insane if I want another thing with that. Yeah. So, the good thing about having only one of them, they can't, like, stop you from taking advantage of them being one of the tops by, like, plowing through on the bottom. Yeah, just wait for them to be in an advantageous position and take advantage then. Again, there are riskier and faster yet kind of riskier ways to do this. Just don't go for them. It's very tempting. Because there's a lot of faster ways I could be doing this fight. But all of those, like, see, I could be going to try and get the box there. Don't do that. Just gotta stick to the course. Okay. That was really annoying. Okay, we're doing Kabula. Alright, you know what? We're ending the episode off there. Thanks for flying with the Flightship. This run has still gone extremely well. I'll come back from this. When it comes to entertainment, we know you have a choice, and we thank you for flying with the Flightship. We hope you continue to the next episode of our flight, and consider joining our Frequent Flyers program by hitting the subscribe button.